A different Messiah was created by the church. Let's talk about it. If you are like me, growing up, when you pictured Messiah Yeshua, you pictured this attractive, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, long blonde-haired guy, and that's how we recognize him. But you know what? If we actually saw what the real Messiah Yeshua looked like, we would not recognize him. And that is what has happened to the church today. The church has created Messiah Yeshua in their own image. And it didn't start off with people today. It started off with the Greeks and the Romans who lived long ago. You see, when the church broke away from the original Hebrew Israelites, where Messiah Yeshua came from, the church decided to create Messiah Yeshua in their own image. And they made changes to who he was. And today, if we don't go back and understand Messiah Yeshua in the right context, we're going to be looking for this blue-eyed, blonde-haired, attractive guy who is not the correct representation of Messiah Yeshua. In order to understand the proper context for Messiah Yeshua, we should be able to understand that he lived in a Hebrew environment, an Israelite environment from the nation of Israel. And that nation is quite different from the nation that exists today. You see, when we take Messiah out of context, we cannot really identify who he is or what he came to do. And that is how the church has created a different Messiah. The Messiah they created is different from the one that we see in Scripture. So let's look and see what Scripture says about the true Messiah. In John chapter 1, verse 45, this is what the Scripture says. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Did you catch that? They said that they found him of who Moses and the prophets wrote. So in order to understand the true Messiah, you have to understand Moses and the prophets. Later in Luke chapter 24, verses 25 through 27, the scripture says, and this is Messiah Yeshua talking, and he said to them, "O foolish men and slow of heart to believe in all that the prophets have spoken. Was it not necessary for the Christ to suffer these things and to enter into his glory?" Then beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them the things concerning himself in Scripture. Did you catch that? Starting with Moses and going through the prophets, Messiah Yeshua explained who he was and what the Scripture said about him. In order to fully understand Messiah Yeshua, you have to put him in the context of what the Scripture says in the Old Testament. But instead, the church today has created a New Testament Messiah who is totally different than the Messiah that the Scripture talks about. This New Testament Messiah, he's different than the Father. In fact, he came to start a religion that was different than the faith that the Father gave to the original Hebrew Israelites. Today's church treats Messiah Yeshua not as a fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies, but instead as this new person who came along to correct what God had said previously. And that is false doctrine.